lot. Hi squad, what's happening? So you got the fizz bones down? Yeah, I got this shit. Lots planned, lots to do, lots of avatar stuff to do, like a lot, like way more than I thought I'd have to do with the update, which is very, I wasn't really ready, and it's really kicked me in the teeth. I think it's kicked a lot of people in the teeth. I'm glad that it works, but yeah, just another thing of like, I really wish that the VR chat development team were a bit more forthcoming on maybe when updates are coming out, like an actual roadmap that like everyone can see, not just people in the who use the Discord or whatever. Like make it like on Twitter, Fizzbone's coming out this day. You get like a week to get ready. You know, the beta's out, so you can like get stuff done. Because the stuff was already out. It's just like, and like, it's like, yeah, of course, I'd love to be able to have time to work on that stuff when it wasn't out. But the problem was, like, when it wasn't out, I was doing stuff already. It's not like I could stop doing the stuff I'm already doing to go work on something when I don't know when it's coming out. You know, like it's like it just doesn't work in that way. My plan for streams, specifically VR chat, is I want to have like a topic, because no, I don't always have things to rant about. And like sometimes they just end up being kind of negative or the same, because like honestly, generally VR chat Twitter is just like the same sort of argument over and over again, which is people who are old and played this game and streamed this game when they thought it was a different thing are just complaining about it not being that thing anymore, and they can't adapt. And that's generally just everything, and then they complain about it, the sex and stuff. I think the only thing we have to talk about the Twitch thing is there's a new Twitch update coming with more particular rules about what you can do on stream and being sexual on stream and all that blah 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 blah. But the big thing, I think the big thing I saw was specifically like the pole dancing thing. I think that's kind of like an interesting one, because I could name a couple streamers I know that do pole dancing stuff, and generally I think that their stuff is literally just clickbait, and it's like kind of weird that they allow it on the platform. So I'm glad that they're making the effort to like, you know, be like, this is what's allowed, this is what's allowed. If you're doing, say, like actual exercise and you're not emphasizing the sexuality part of it, then, you know, Pogo. Hopefully Twitch is definitely getting better at what they should be doing and not ignoring it as much. Like, I understand the money perspective is kind of hard for them to sort of just like justify just straight up banning a lot of people, but they need to be more clear, because otherwise people, you know. So yeah, I finally got to meet Paperbag in on VR chat. That was super nice. Actually, like it's literally like bumped into each other through Ari, and then that it was like again and then again. It was like almost 3 days in a row. They're super fucking nice. She's lovely. There's Pog. I got to meet Aiden or Nedia, which is super Pog. She's cool too. And I finally got to meet Sealy in game as well, who does a heap of the outfits I use. And they were Pog. They did some inappropriate stuff to me, but it was funny. in a funny way. They're like, I really like your model. Man, the amount of MMO rants I get into on VRC is insane. It's because dude, Diva, you know how I feel about it. It's like they literally don't make MMOs for us anymore. The people who played MMOs for the longest time, who literally made the MMO genre a fucking genre, they don't fucking make the games for us anymore. If you want to play a fucking MMO, you have a couple choices. It's RuneScape, like old school RuneScape. There's classic WoW, and then there's about 50 abominations of half good games. And then the rest of the ones that are really popular, like Lost Ark, are just fucking utter fucking garbage. You still have ESO and Final Fantasy 14? Well, that's the problem, because Final Fantasy 14 has amazing story. The gameplay is like okay, but the problem is, and like Jimmy keeps telling me this, and it makes a lot of sense to me, is they're doing the same thing that they did with WoW, and they just sort of like they just take the fun out of the game. Slowly but surely, they're taking the fun out of the game. Final Fantasy is like a huge issue with this. I feel like with Final Fantasy that my time isn't worth anything, because the stuff that I'm doing currently in the game is just like, for the most part, filler to support the story sections. Like, I fucking love the story, but fuck me, having to do like a heap of quests that don't really do a lot to get like a cutscene and then do a dungeon and then get another cutscene is ridiculous. At least just like cut the dungeon out. Like, do you really need to like queue for a dungeon? I know that like later on that they do a thing where you could do the dungeon solo, which just sounds even worse to me, because like if you're not putting big story elements in the dungeon, Why the fuck do you need it? Give me mentioned MMOs and I just get fucking fiery. He hates gameplay. I love gameplay. I just don't enjoy the Final Fantasy gameplay that much. I've never really been able to get into the Japanese MMO gameplay a lot of the time. It's something about like Western MMOs that just feel better to play for me. I don't understand how we had such an amazing evolution of MMO, right? Like stuff beforehand, it was like EverQuest, right? Like that was like the big one, Ultimate Online, all that sort of stuff. And the issues with that were fixed when World of Warcraft came out. And you had this amazing base of like this super fun MMO, which if you go and play Classic or you play in a private server, KEKW, you will get that experience and you'll understand why it's good. The whole thing being like this ecosystem and being like a community-driven thing, even though it's like overly simplistic and stuff like that, it doesn't matter because like it just works. Some people just want to cast Frostbolt all day, you know, that's all they want to do when they raid. Alright, next MMO, Guild Wars 2. What's the problem with Guild Wars 2? They just went for the WoW thing. They were like, even though we have like this super amazing MMO in Guild Wars, we're gonna make a sequel. We're gonna make the sequel to one of the greatest MMOs of all time. How are we gonna do it? We'll make it like World of Warcraft. It just made no sense to me. Like they just dumbed everything down, but not in a fun way. The fun thing about Guild Wars 1 is that even though there's a lot going on, you can learn it. But the thing with Guild Wars 2 is they simplify it in a way that isn't fun. Because they simplified everything, it made stuff like PvP not fun. The whole thing about Guild Wars is you've got limited skills, but essentially you have a bar of skills, and that's all you get. You don't get like 800 bars, you just get 1 bar of skills. And in Guild Wars 1, you have to pick the skills for the bar. In Guild Wars 2, you only pick your utility skills. The main 5 skills are based on your main hand and offhand weapons. And like stuff changes, and there's some different classes and stuff that makes that stuff different. But for the most part, you're limited to what you have. You're limited to your weapon skills. But the thing with Guild Wars 1 is that your skills are based on your stats, not your weapons. But essentially, you have like these crazy bars set up of skills that you would like work out everything, like little thing about them. And there was so much depth to like this really simple system. But then they just like simplified it even more and made it so much worse because there was like no longer like fun things to do. Guild Wars 2 is such a disappointing game. They have like such cool concepts and they just continually fumble and fall over them. If you make a good game with open stuff, like it's more open, right? Like you have like more options, people find fun things to do with those options. It's the thing I like so much about like, it's the only thing I like about Magic the Gathering is because of how open the game is. You can develop all these different formats that even they, like people who make Magic, don't even look at. Remmio is the coach now? No. I don't want to do that for a while. I have done coaching before. I used to coach card games. I've helped a lot of people like top like at least a few wins. I used to joke with the organizers of one card game that if we won, they'd have to host it in my shitty town the next year. We won like we ended up winning like 3. And every time I was like, so what's gonna happen? I will be honest with you, the people who I tried coaching that did badly was only like a couple of people, and generally it's the same issue with all of them, and it's they didn't want to listen. One of my exes played card games, and she was super into it, but she'd swap the card game to card game because she could never work out why she couldn't win on average. She would just do like okay, like she'd never being able to consistently win locals is kind of like a sign of like you just can never really beat it. Like if you can't win a local event, unless your locals are like fucking insane, you should be able to win on average at least every other week. If you're good, right? Like, it shouldn't be that difficult, especially if you spend a lot of money on the game. But they could not win anything consistently. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, chat, but the reason I didn't play a lot is because I kept winning. Sorry, I've derailed the topic already of MMOs. I'll never forget. I had a heap of friends come down to surprise me who came down from Melbourne to my state to play in like a card game tournament. And I was like, look, it's a Sunday, it's really quiet. I was like, look, I trust you boys will do well. But like, I want to make sure that like, you got like a free trip to go to Melbourne essentially. And I was like, look, boys, I want to make sure that someone gets the trip, right? And they're like, okay. We'll all try. I went undefeated. They had literally brought one of the best Melon players had come down, and he literally had brought a deck that beat one of my best friends, who we played a lot together. He built a deck just to beat him. I just like every game he wanted to play this exact way. Every match went the same way. He would literally play as slow as possible to get his win condition, and every single time I'd just be like, nope, 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 you're dead. It went the same way every time. He couldn't work out a way to beat me. I miss beating nerds at Magic the Gathering. I miss clapping the sweaty cheeks of fat nerds as they cough and splutter. For cookies, yeah. That's how I learned gambling when I was a kid. My mom was like, "We're gonna play poker," and she was like, "All right, here's some chocolates. Everyone gets some chocolates. Now we're gonna bet with the chocolates." And I learned so fucking quick how that shit is painful. People get fucking weird with poker. Chad, I know some of you already know this. I like to gamble a little bit. I'm a very responsible gambler though. Generally, I do gambling for fun. For me, the pokies are pretty fun. They're very, if you don't know what you're doing, I don't recommend them. They're very, very much just a way to lose money. But if you know what you're doing, you can definitely do okay. I've definitely played the system a little bit and made some money that way. But I do love a bit of blackjack. Blackjack's pretty pog. I only play it casually though. I don't fucking remember shit or anything like that. I just have a fun time with it. That's the thing. Like I wanna have a couple drinks and play some games with the boys. Oh my god! Last time we played blackjack in Melbourne, holy shit. We're there. I brought $50 to the table. Everyone ended up like using most of their money. One of my friends just kept fucking putting money down. That was upsetting. I think he spent $1,200 in that night. He just lost it all. I only lost $50, but during the process of the blackjack, I had to stop playing because essentially we got to a point where only I was playing. I ended up winning a lot. So what we ended up doing is I paid for 2 rounds, and everyone lost except me. So I left, I think, with $25, and I was like, that's good enough. But we ended up playing blackjack for like 2 hours. So my problem with TwitchCon, and I don't understand this, is that like you can't get tickets yet, right? So am I gonna be able to like record? Because like I want to go, and I want to be able to book everything, but if I can't guarantee that I get to go to the event, I don't really want to go. I'll just organize something else. They're out now? Fucking what? I literally looked the other day. What the fuck? Oh my god. Where? You can't get San Diego tickets yet. You can get Amsterdam ones. I mean, you can still buy them. Maybe I will book it. I don't know. I had to pay the whole deposit on the place we're renting. So like I have money. Like I'm like I have money for stuff, but I don't have like a heap of extra money like I normally do. You know, we have a heap of money? Oh, not like a lot. I usually try and have like at least like savings though. We all have a spare fund? No. Cause like here, Puck, like everyone I fucking know here, like who lives here, lives fucking paycheck to paycheck, and I can't understand it, dude. I just like that shit scares the fuck out of me. Average person has enough savings to live 2 months when they're fired in the UK. See, that's a fucking smart thing to do. People in Australia have like fucking a week, if that, a lot of the time. A week, yeah, it's bad, yeah. 2 months is nothing as well. Rent's also super fucking expensive here too. Is story time now? That's pretty pog. It's always story time on the Remmio stream. Story time around time. Yeah, exactly. Like a VR chat stream is like, it's the equivalent of doing like a 6-hour plus stream of anything else. Some people fucking go for hours. I don't know how O-Girls does it. Chat, I love you. I love all of you very much. Okay? You know this. I love you all.